Yo, what up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome in pre-Easter live stream, mate. So tomorrow's Easter. Hopefully, you guys got some stuff planned, some cool things going on. Um, Unfortunately, here tomorrow, it's going to be real interesting to see people go and do the whole Easter thing because it is going to rain. That's going to be very interesting. Anyways, how you guys doing this morning? If you're in, go ahead and drop a comment, say hello. But I kind of wanted to dive a little bit more deeper into this whole, Google backtracking and just this. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like we could be a little toxic. The tech community could be very little toxic. What's up, Brian? How's it going, man? And I feel that way because now that Google has announced that, in fact, the Pixel 8 will get Gemini Nano. Um, Rather than just accepting the victory, it almost seems like we have to taunt Google. We have to take to Twix and post some stuff and make fun of them or whatever it may be. Except the one most important thing, which is enjoy the fact that they are going to give it to the Pixel 8 and didn't just stick with their first thing, which was, that there was hardware limitations or whatever. Like hardware limitations, okay, I get it. You know what? We kind of saw through that. A lot of us kind of took to YouTube and took to social media to say, nah, there couldn't be. And so that's that. People just want transparency. Well, you can ask for transparency without, being an asshole about it, right? I mean, it's one thing to say like, okay, Google, give us the rundown. Were you trying to, make it to where you would make it more how do you put it? Where you would make it where people would want to go with the pro model over the base model. Like, were you really trying to push that? I get it. We want that type of transparency. We want them to be like, hey, you know what? This will be the reason why you guys would opt for the pro model, because the pro models are going to have more things than the base model, which the pro model already has slightly some, right? Slightly some bigger battery, obviously. The additional telephoto camera sensor that people kind of like want, along with the ultra wide and the regular wide angle. So, yeah, I get that. We want some transparency, but there's a difference from that than taking to social media and just like calling them freaking idiots or there's a difference in that, right? Because they didn't have to. That's the thing. They could have stuck with it. Anytime that these tech companies do something that's questionable, one thing that we kind of forget though is that they don't have to change their decision on anything. They can continue to run with it. Like, so many times have we ripped Apple a new one. I'm pretty sure Apple's got like more than over 100 buttholes for how many times we ripped them a new one for a decision that they made regarding the iPhones, and yet people still go out and buy iPhones. And Google Pixels are coming to that point. A lot of us nerds, we may question the things that they do, but we will still go out and buy them. And Google knows that. They see the trend in that. And so they didn't have to. So for me, I'm just like, yeah, we know that it was a bunch of malarkey, that the hardware limitations, Google, but at the same time, like, they're giving it. Just like how we were really upset with the fact that the Pixel Fold, a $1,800 phone, wasn't getting the treatment that we thought it should have gotten, and now it's getting it. Like, I don't know if it's going to get Gemini Nano. I think it should. I know that opens up a can of worms for Google, because if they give it to the Pixel Fold, there's no way they can convince people that it's not compatible for the Pixel 7 Pro, same processing chip and all that good stuff. So I mean, yeah. And I don't know, maybe this is the lead up to, like, rumors that I'm seeing that there's going to be 3 Google Pixel models dropping this year: a Pixel 9 base model, a Pixel 9 Pro model, and a Pixel 9 Pro Pro XL. I was gonna say Max because I'm so used to, like, with Apple. You look at Apple, right? Like my 11 Pro Max, which I'm using as a webcam, by the way. And you guys let me know if this quality is a lot better. I think it is. I think my iPhone 11 Pro Max is doing great as my webcam. But let me know if it's doing much better than what I've previously had before. But anyways, so if there's going to be 3 Pixel 9 models this year. That's going to be very interesting. And I don't know, maybe Google was setting up for something like this, right? Because if the 9 Pro and the 9 Pro XL is gonna, exceed with more features that the 9 is not gonna have, I mean, that obviously is gonna make somewhat, in a sense, right? To validate the reasons why that there is a Pro model to begin with. If they stuck with it, I just use another device. It's all good. Yeah, I mean, there's people who's just like, if the Pixel 8 never got Gemini Nano, well then, they'll just skip that version and go to the next one, right? We all have our ways of how we buy devices and stuff like that, and how we choose the devices that we use. We all have our ways of doing it. So it's, to each their own. You know what I mean? I just always felt like, since we got what we wanted, that there's no reason to poke the bear, right? The bear decided to go to sleep. Let's let it sleep, type of thing. Pixel Fold got that Tensor 2 blues. But I mean, at least it got Circle to Search. That was one of the things that people were just left baffled about, was like, it didn't get Circle to Search. Now it did. My Pixel 6, which I'm currently running a day in a life video today, so that will probably drop tonight. But even it got Circle to Search, and I was playing around with it earlier. Like, I nerd out on my phones, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I watch other people's content to give them the support, to give them the view. But then I also play around with my phones, like, its features and stuff like that, just for fun. I guess I'm weird in that way. I don't know. And yeah, so I play around with Circle to Search on my Pixel 6a. My wife is my wallpaper on my Pixel 6a, and I decided to do a circle to search on her to see if Circle to Search would bring up like her social media accounts and everything like that, and it did. So I thought that was kind of funny though. And again, big shout out to my wife. She surprised me yesterday on a side note and took me to go see Godzilla X Kong, which I won't ruin it for anybody. I'll probably do like a movie review in a couple of days on Aloha Android's channel. I'll do it on there. But I had a lot of fun watching that movie. I was surprised. My wife's not into action movies like that, but yet she's stuck through it. So I have my opinions on the movie, but I'm gonna wait until at least I know that majority of people went to go see it in theaters before I start dropping what I think about the movie. But I'll just say this though, it was a decent movie. I even spelled Backtrack wrong. I just noticed that. Oh my God. I just woke up like 52 minutes ago, so forgive me for being slightly half asleep. Anyways, but yeah, the Pixel Fold got Circle to Search, Pixel 6, 6a, like all of them got Circle to Search. So that's like, that's a good thing in my opinion. They got that. That's a very nifty and handy feature, and so I'm not like the rest of the Pixel 7 owners that have been very vocal that they want Gemini Nano as well. I mean, if the Pixel 7 happens to get it, fine. If it doesn't, no big deal to me. No big deal. Eventually I will have to get the Pixel 8, just to have that in my collection of Google Pixels. But I am intending probably going Pixel 9 this year. More than likely. It depends though, because I'm also very interested in the Pixel 8a. I know that we got like 2 months until it's unveiling. And I want to see what the pricing is going to be with the Pixel 8a, right? A lot of people have basically speculated that the Samsung Galaxy A55 was going to be like $500 or more. And right now you can get them on Amazon for like I think Amazon has the 128 gig model for $435, and if you opt for the 256 model, it's $439. So a difference of $4. So it would make sense, if people would just go for the 256 model if you want to get one. However, I've been watching other creators' videos kind of like regarding the Samsung Galaxy A55, and their position on it is like, Samsung doesn't want to undercut the value of the Samsung Galaxy S23 Fan Edition, which is like a $600 phone, and that the A55 and the S23 Fan Edition are pretty much like similarly spec'd. So yeah, they want to be able to sell the Fan Editions. And honestly, I feel like that when it comes to Samsung and their Fan Editions, I feel like that, that is in its name, already as is, right? Like if someone opted to get an S23 fan edition, it's because they are the fan of the S23 model. So where certain things don't matter, they're willing to sacrifice for a much lower cost. And then that's like, the same thing like with the Pixel 8a and the A series from Pixel, right? Like I honestly feel like today, when it comes down to devices, it's just how I feel. So some people could disagree with me. It's not going to change my outlook on things. But like, for instance, like having the Pixel 6a or even having the Pixel 7a, A series devices from Google, basically, certain things cut, yet they still perform in a way where, because you have that flagship chip from Google, right? The Tensor chip is in the A series, and it's equivalent to like buying an older flagship iPhone, right? But iPhone 12 to me is like this to the A series, and then the Pro model iPhones, to the base model and Pro model of the Pixel, right? So that's how I feel like how they kind of like match up. If you were to like create some sort of battle card and have these devices on the card to battle each other, that's how I would look at it. So I don't know. I feel like that, that Google can definitely at some point, I don't know, I guess bring these features over to older devices, right? Like I would love to see Nano on the 7 and 7 Pro. I don't disagree with a lot of people who are just like taking to social media and saying, what about the 7 and 7 Pro? Like, okay, the 7 and 7 Pro, like what about it? Give some love to it if it's possible. But we don't know if, the way that the Tensor G3 is built to support Gemini Nano, on device AI computing. We'll just have to see. We'll have to see where Google goes with it. Like Google has still a lot more ground to cover when you kind of think about it. And like at the same time too, I feel like it's like comparing apples to oranges when you kind of compare the iPhone and how it's built out to Google Pixels and how they're built out, right? Like Apple has been doing it for so many years. I know people say that that's an excuse, but in the reality of things, that's where we're kind of sitting, right? So Google still is going to make mistakes going down the road. That's something that's inevitable. However, there's some things that Google has to have been doing very well, especially with their AI, considering the fact that Apple is going to be, they're in talks. We haven't heard anything like officially ironclad yet, but Apple is going to possibly use Gemini on iPhones coming in the future. Just like, we heard the announcement that this fall is when RCS is going to be available on iPhones. So, messaging between iPhone and, and Android users, now they'll have that RCS connectivity, and then iPhone to iPhone users will have iMessage. So, again, moving away from the archaic SMS. I know we use a lot of SMS for 2FAs, and I believe that will eventually be, also updated. Like, technology moves forward; it doesn't sit in the past, and so we got to get this push going with RCS. And I'm actually super happy that Apple's going to be doing that. Good on them for doing that. Is it kind of too little, too late? Because the argumentative point on that is that a lot of people use different messaging apps anyway. So getting RCS compatibility between iPhone and Pixel and Galaxy devices, I mean, that's just like, everyone is just like, okay, why? There are people that use Facebook Messenger. There are people that use WhatsApp. There's those that use Telegram. I mean, there's like a plethora of different messaging services out there. Same way, like, I dropped a quick video on that family that went on vacation and got a $78,000 bill for international use. Roaming internationally. And it's like, I said that they could have saved if they just, grabbed the Google Fi. But even then, like, other people made very good points that were better than mine when they decided to say, like, okay, they could have just used WhatsApp. They could have just used, Facebook Messenger. Like, these things aren't, locked down to like some sort of a international plan that you need in order for them to function. But then at the same time, too, the way that I look at it is like, yeah, you could have used WhatsApp, you could have used Facebook, but you're still using data to use those. And that's where they occurred most of the charges because they didn't have a global plan. They occurred most of the charges based upon using data. So they could have been using WhatsApp or they could have been using Facebook Messenger. It's just that they ate up a lot of data doing so. I believe in the article that I read, it stated that if you didn't have a global plan with T-Mobile, for 1 megabyte of data usage is $15, right? So if you use a gig, that's like $15,000 already right there, just for one line using 1 gig of data overseas. And now let's say you have 4 or 3 lines on the account. Now if you're using 1 gig of data, each one using 1 gig of data, I mean, geez Louise, that's like 60 grand right there. So yeah, for people to say that, it was oddly strange that this family racked up a $78,000 bill. No, you definitely can for doing very small things. One, not having any type of international service coverage. Not, talking with your carrier. This is like probably one of the most important things that I would tell people that, they would need to do with their service provider if they're going to be traveling overseas, is contacting them before you're about to travel overseas and finding out what type of international service packages that they have, what type of limitations does those plans have on them. And that way you have a better fit and idea. But me, I would always tell people, like, if you're going to go travel overseas, one of the best things that you can do is get Google Fi service for that time being. It operates on the T-Mobile network. You can use it while you're overseas. Once you come back to the US, you can, suspend the service or close out the account and just pay that one-time bill for using services overseas. The Google Fi just works in many different countries. And as far as I know, and it still continues till today, the network connection is not limited, right? So you can be in places where, they may have like some restrictions, right? Like China has restrictions on using, certain social media apps and accessing Google Drive, cloud storage, or any of those things, right? But with Google Fi, you can actually connect to those things. You're not locked down as the native telecom companies may lock down and restrict app connections and app services to their people. You won't be. So Google Fi is probably one of the best out there to just go travel, right? Even though, Google Fi is Google Fi, some of the things that they do, in my opinion, their customer service is just horrendous. If you can get Google Fi service and never have to contact customer service, you're going to have a great experience on Google Fi. But anytime that you have to contact Google Fi customer care, it's just bad. But yeah, I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for the family that did that. I felt like, because we don't know what T-Mobile's going to do. We don't know if T-Mobile's going to forgive partial of the debt or whatever. Like, in the article, they mentioned stories like another family occurred like a huge bill on Verizon going overseas vacation. And then, Verizon struck a deal with them and they said, okay, you know what? We'll just have you pay half. We'll forgive half the debt and we'll let you pay half. And, that, I guess that makes sense to a degree, just on good faith, right? One-time thing. It's not something that like, okay, they cut your bill in half because, you didn't know about international usage. And then if you go and travel outside again without any type of international package added onto your account for the meantime, that they're going to forgive half the debt again. You go out there again and you rack up a huge bill like you did the first time, Verizon's not going to forgive half that debt because now you know exactly what you're doing. It's been notated that you should know about this. So you're like SOL, screwed and stuck to that. But yeah, there's craziness on that. I also wanted to kind of shift tracks over to Helium Mobile's mapping is fixed. So for the last couple of days, those that are Helium Mobile customers may have noticed that, the mapping and the app itself has been very buggy, very glitchy. On the Android side, they just released a 1.8.0, I think. That addressed a lot of the issues with the mapping. Now, I actually see a difference in mapping for Helium Mobile. So before that Helium Mobile made these changes and now they really kind of show you how you're mapping, they're a bit more transparent now. So before we used to think like, okay, turn on mapping and just move about your city, and you'll accumulate tokens that you can later cash in for value to either pay your bill or to transfer to your wallet, and you could transfer to like a different crypto, whether you're going to use Bitcoin, or you can transfer it over, or exchange it and transfer it over to Ethereum or any of these other ones. You could do that. You can cash it out for cash value. You definitely could do that. So it used to just like when I was doing my mapping, I'll tell you guys, like I earned like 400 between 435 to 483 tokens per day mapping. Um, Now that there's some transparency, it lets me know like how much of an area do I need to map in order to be considered. They do it by hexagons, right? So they'll tell you like you have to map 40 hexagons a day in order to earn. And then they tell you the size of a hexagon. The size of a hexagon is the size of a grocery store. Um, so you go, okay, so you got pretty much an idea, right? You walk around Walmart, that's considered one hexagon. That's like, mapped one, right? You got to map 39 more in order to earn something in a day. The thing is, though, is that now you actually can see that if you're achieving that goal, if you're reaching that goal, which is great because some people want to know, like, are they actually progressively mapping for Helium Mobile? We never really had a way to tell, but now we do, and so that's a good thing. On top of that, the earnings seems to be a little bit different because, like I said, I was mapping and earning about 435 to 483 tokens a day. And then when they fixed the mapping, the very first day that they had fixed the mapping on it, and I looked and like I did my normal thing, like my wife and I ran errands and paid bills and went grocery shopping for things that we're gonna make for dinner, and we did our usual walk together. We go walking and try to walk about a mile and a half a day. Play Pokemon Go. We did our normal thing. And by the time that 6 p.m. rolled around, because that's when the 24-hour mapping ends, it ends at 6 p.m. the next day. So every day at 6 p.m. it ends, starts over at 6:01 p.m. till the following day at 6 p.m. That counts for one whole day of mapping. And so when it ended, I noticed that just for that day alone, it gave me 3,000 plus tokens. And I was just left astonished, like, whoa. And I'll show you guys. Let me go into my Helium mobile app and I'll show you guys the earnings. And it's so crazy. So yeah, see now I don't know how well you guys can see that, but like on March 27th, it paid me out for 3,538.407645 tokens. And then yesterday, 635. So a lot more than what I was normally getting, because before that, I don't know if you guys can see that. Before that, it's like 463, 473, 453, 423, 427. So like I was just averaging before the fix. I was just averaging like 400, right? So then it tells you right here, like the hex is like the size of a basketball court. You got to map 40 hexagons. Now it'd be cool if they showed you a map where you've been mapping, right? But yeah, and then right down here, you'll see that it says 40 eligible. I have 40 eligible mappings for payouts. So that's a good thing. Yeah, so, and they also fixed the battery drain issue. Because before when you turned on mapping would just like literally drain your battery. Now they have it to where mapping is on, and if you're sitting still, like I'm sitting still at home, it's currently not on. Even though like the toggle switch to map is on, it's not on. It's literally just chilling, conserving my power for me to use whatever I need to use. The moment that I move, I think it's like 15 meters. Once it starts noticing that there is a movement beyond 15 meters, it kicks on the mapping. And so it starts to calculate and map my movements and where I'm going. So when you're moving, it's actively mapping. When you're not moving, it disengages it to save battery. That's good, because before that, it was always on. It was always like literally just draining out the battery. So that's something that I'm like happy that Helium Mobile has made some changes. The coolest thing is that my youngest daughter, she has Helium Mobile, and yesterday I paid her first month's bill with the tokens that she earned. I went to check to see like, you know, how her mapping was, looked at it, saw that she had, I think it was like 8,000 plus tokens. So I went ahead and she had one free claim for the week. So I claimed all 8,000, transferred to her wallet, then went into prepay mobile section of the Helium Mobile app, clicked on that. It took what it needed to cover basically the cash value of $20.86. And then it told me that her next month is paid for. So right now I'm just waiting for the SIM card for Helium Mobile for my oldest daughter's line, because her Boost Mobile service ends on the 4th of April. So once that SIM card comes in and I have it activated, I'm gonna put it in her Galaxy A53 and turn on mapping, and she'll be able to map for herself. And by the time the end of April comes around, when her bill's going to be due, I can check to see, make sure she's earned enough, cash out for her. So like, that's the thing about, you know, like my kiddos, right? Like they're having a mobile phone service and they are literally, you know, close to free. I'm not going to like put it out there and say that they're going to have free phone service for the rest of their life. I wouldn't do that. But I will say that even if they mapped enough to make like $5 US cash value, right? That's $5 off. That makes their bill 15, right? So whatever they're mapping, whatever they're actively collecting in tokens, and then I will transfer that into their wallet for them. So then that way, you know, they have to pay the bill. Now, it's also my kids' choice if they don't want to pay their bill with the tokens they earn and they want to transfer that over to their crypto wallet so they have crypto to use. If they want to buy things, I can do that for them too. It's entirely up to them. So yeah, my kids are actively earning crypto right now with their phone service, which is one of the cool things I like about Helium Mobile. Yeah. So, I mean, their phone services they got was like literally free when they started for using my my promo code. I just need Helium to fix that one part, because I don't know how many people have, you know, that are not connected to me, right? So like some of you guys, and I appreciate you guys for letting me know how you guys are seeing things, because I would have never known. But you know, a lot of people are using my promo code to get 1 month free to try out Helium Mobile for 1 month. And when they were getting to the section where you would, you know, begin service to confirm pay, it was showing them $20. So a lot of people naturally are going to assume that they're about to be billed $20 the moment that they click confirm and pay, which is not. It's not like that at all. HD? What do you mean HD? By the way, welcome in, Michael. But yeah, it's you know, it scares a lot of people, obviously, because you don't want to click confirm and pay and then it just, you know, takes your money. You don't want to do that. I don't want anyone to have to go through that, right? First of all, like my promo code is in all caps to be on the safe side, right? So just type it all in, capital letters, hit apply promo. Make sure you didn't put a space or anything. Hit apply, and once you see that it says applied in green, then the code is applied. And when you check out, even though you think it's going to charge you $20, it's not. It's only going to charge you $1. I have to keep reminding people about this because, yeah, Helium Mobile needs to actually make it to where it effectively shows in the checkout process when you're signing up for Helium Mobile. If you use my promo code to get 1 month free and you put it and it applied and you're to the last final page to hit confirm and pay, it needs to reflect that. So it needs to like put like a slash across the $20 for you to know that you're not going to be charged $20, because some people had to take that risk. It was like a leap of faith. Do they trust Tito and jump? And for those that did, I appreciate you guys for doing that. For Art Dog, who posted a comment on my video talking about it, that confirmed, it worked for him. I appreciate you for doing that. It's just like, it just sucks. It just sucks that it doesn't reflect it in the checkout page. I really wish it did, because people need to know that. And on a side note, I really like this whole setup. I might just go ahead and spend the $25 for IV cam, and because my iPhone 11 Pro Max is right now sitting on my desk. What I'm using is my iPhone 12 alongside my Pixel 6a. So I'm using my iPhone 11 Pro Max as a webcam, and I might just buy the full version so I have the full unlock capabilities. Even though my computer's Stone Age, it's not like a gaming rig or anything like that. Just a basic Windows computer, 2 monitors that and it's connected by Ethernet. It has no Wi-Fi antenna inside of it to actually connect to Wi-Fi that way. I have to use the Ethernet line. But cool though, the Ethernet line to my computer still registers the camera, because the camera's connected by Wi-Fi. So it's connected to my Wi-Fi router, and it's dispersing the video feed into Restream. So that's pretty cool.
I was trying to get my Helium to log in, but now it deleted my boost sim. I don't know how.
Oh, hold on.
It's because I needed to get the code to log in, and it won't send me a text.
Okay.
Fix it now?
Yeah, both your sims are active right now. And check it out. That's my wife's phone case for her Pixel 7a. Corgis. Here you go, love. You're welcome. But yeah, other than that, I mean, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about for today. How are you guys doing anyways? Any big plans for Easter? You guys have anything going on? Getting together with family, barbecuing? Is there rain in your forecast for tomorrow like it is for us? There's going to be some rain over here. Is it raining out your way, Michael? Are you guys catching rain in California right now? I know tomorrow it's supposed to rain tomorrow here for Easter Sunday, and then it's supposed to rain here on Monday as well. So it's weird because today it's going to hit 82 degrees, which is kind of nice with the wind. So it's not 82 and burning with the sun. We're going to have some strong winds this afternoon. So 82 with strong winds, going to be great. You guys will see it in the day in the life video with Pixel 6a that I'm working on right now, because I will be recording as I'm out there walking and getting my B-roll footage and telling you guys what I think about the Pixel 6a and whatnot. But anyways, it's going to be windy today, so it's going to feel nice out there. And then also, I think on the second channel on Aloha Android, I'm actually going to do a stream later on this week, right before WrestleMania. Magical Mermaid, what's up? Yeah. So I'll do a stream on that channel for the pre-WrestleMania live stream. I know I'm doing a live stream later today with BTech on the Deathlock podcast. We're doing that on there today. We got to catch up on some things that happened in pro wrestling, so I hope to see some of you guys there. And then I know on the second channel I'll also be doing a movie review of Godzilla X Kong. I watched the movie yesterday. My wife surprised me and bought tickets to it. Bought some pretty good tickets too. I gotta tell you guys, she always finds these deals. I'm amazed at what my wife can do. So for 6 people to go watch the movie yesterday, it was $36. Normally that would have been $60 or more for 6 of us to go, but she got it for $36. So, I don't know. I'm just gonna have to see. 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 I'm just It wasn't bad at all. Um, and the movie was decent, but I don't want to like ruin it for anybody because it just came out yesterday. It was like I didn't like. I'm not the type of person that's picky about going to the movies, so like it didn't matter to me that the movie started at 3:45 p.m. yesterday. Um, when I went to go watch it, there was like maybe four groups of people in there. There was a group in front of us. There was like six or seven kids that probably ditched school to go watch the movie. I know for a fact they were not over 18. So they were there. There was a little bit down my road. There was a couple that was watching it, and then there was like a group of four people behind us, and then me, my family. So we like it's great to watch a movie that just released and it not be so crowded. Um, so I was like, yeah, great price for the tickets, great seats, and great space. I felt comfortable. I get very claustrophobic in movie theaters if it's packed and there's a lot of people inside. I just, feel like I have to do that. Yeah, same way like on air flights. You know what I mean? If you've ever been on an airplane back in like the mid '90s, late '80s, you know that there was space. There was a good amount of space, right? But they, of course, these new planes they build out, 737s, 727s, 747s, DC-10s. These planes, they like cram everybody like sardines. You still need to see minus one. Minus one was. I'm a big Godzilla fan. Been watching it since I was a kid. I was like one of my favorite movies. I loved watching with my mom. My mom loved watching Godzilla movies. So, seeing all the different ones from like way back in the day, and I seen the evolution of the costume over the years. So, Godzilla minus one was amazing. It was awesome. I will say that. Um, with this franchise here in the U.S., with Godzilla 2014 all the way up until now, like the United States has redeemed themselves for that Godzilla 2000 movie. Oh my god, that was just so bad. The iguana that mutated and it just looked weird. Interesting enough for those who don't know, if you ever watch a bunch of Godzilla movies, but if you watch Godzilla Final Wars, pretty decent movie. But there's one scene like when they awaken Godzilla from the South Pole and they make it chase him to go back. So because the humans are gonna fight the Exilians, and they're gonna have Godzilla fight Gigan, and so as Godzilla's following the little spacecraft thingy that they're using, Godzilla's following it because he was frozen in ice, so he thinks the battle between him and humans are still going on. He follows them, and when they get to Australia, that's like the first destination to stop. The Exilians, the alien race that's trying to take over Earth, they release Zilla. Zilla is the American version of Godzilla from the year 2000. And just to make a statement that the Godzilla 2000 movie was trash, they had their Godzilla, the Toho Godzilla, defeat Zilla in like 2 seconds, right? Zilla jumps at Godzilla. Godzilla like hits it with his tail, knocks him into the opera house, and then unleashes an atomic breath and just kills it. Wasn't much of a fight. It was good. Minus one was really, really good. It didn't surprise me if it won any awards because it was really good. Like I commend them, and I love the fact that Toho in Japan in Godzilla minus one, the costume of Godzilla is very closely related to what we developed here in the US with Godzilla, right? I mean, his dorsal spikes are a lot bigger, but as far as like the look, it's almost similar. So it's like because Japan could have made theirs so different. They could have made theirs different to where it's like superly recognizable. I don't know how this turned into a Godzilla live stream, but it just did. Yeah, I'm hearing that too, Michael. I'm hearing another Jurassic Park movies in the works. The one movie that I'm interested in watching this summer is Twisters. They showed the trailer to that, last yesterday, and it was so funny, because the first Twister movie, if you guys remember that movie with Helen Hunt, and her dad was killed by an F5 tornado, so she's a tornado chaser and tries to get that machine Dorothy to take measurements of the vortex of a tornado. So there's a specific scene that they recorded, and I was going to Job Corps at that time when they recorded the movie. So when you see the movie towards the end, when they're at the movie drive-in, and Helen goes up to the concession stand and she orders a coffee, and then she decides to sign the divorce papers. When that scene comes, the drive-in theater was actually a built theater, so it's not a real one. It's not one that was like, I mean, it was, but they built it out for the movie. It was actually nearby where I went to Job Corps at. A lot of scenes that was in that movie were shot, in Tornado Alley, and most of those scenes were shot like the first scene, I believe, was in Oklahoma. A lot of it was shot in Oklahoma, so that's actually pretty cool. And this movie, Twisters, when they showed the trailer, there were certain scenes that I seen that were near where my dad lived. So I'm just like, they were out there filming, whether they were filming, so they had like images to CGI a tornado. That's great. Bill Paxton passed in 2017. He was 61. Yeah, so it made sense why they really, from what I seen from the trailer, they really didn't use a lot of legacy people from the first movie. I don't know. Maybe they might bring Dusty in there somewhere. I love in the first Twister movie, Dusty was awesome. his little yellow bus barn burner was just so cool. Him and Preacher, like Preacher was just like, he would seriously rock on to some Mozart and Tchaikovsky and that type of music, but he was just like so like heavy metal like to it. The characters in it, is pretty awesome. The ideas in this movie though is just like, I don't know, having a truck that can drill and anchor itself to the ground to not be picked up by a tornado, so the truck can be inside of it. Like, here's the thing, because I lived in Texas, Oklahoma for a while, when I was in my 20s. One thing I do know about tornadoes, because I've seen damages of tornadoes. Like my friends and I used to chase them. Yes, you want to anchor your vehicle down so it doesn't get lifted, but you want to anchor it good, because anything that has a resistance to it just seems like the tornado eats it or prefers to eat that. That's why there's some things where like a tornado can go through like a trailer park and it didn't pick up this trailer because it picked up that trailer. It's just like, if there's no weight to it, it's not going to have the resistance to be able to suck and pull it. The other thing to it is that it is absolutely true. I've seen stop signs, thin little metal stop signs that you see like at a four-way stop. I've seen tornadoes put a blade of grass through it. That's how fast the wind speeds are, especially if it's like a EF3 or EF4 tornado. It could put a blade of grass through metal. So you're sitting in a truck. You may have yourself anchored down, but you don't know how much debris is in that vortex. You don't know, like mud, grass, rocks, twigs. And if it can put a blade of grass through metal, that blade of grass is going through your truck. So very scary. Twister is a great flick. Yeah, so I'm very interested in seeing, Twisters, the follow-up to it, which took so many years. Also looking forward to Stranger Things season 5. I know that they made an announcement late 2025, maybe early 2026 for the movie. So not movie, but TV show series. So that's going to be like, they're taking too long. They're taking too long since the last one. The last season I thought was pretty good. I love how they ended it. It didn't give you the happy ending at Stranger Things season 4. You know what I mean? What's his name? Hey babe. What was the villain's name in season 4 of Stranger Things? Was it Vecna? Yeah. I wanted to make sure I got his name right. But anyways, the fact that he was able to get the 4 gates open and to start bringing the upside down into our reality, I thought that was pretty cool. So they actually started seeing the upside down coming through a lot faster than what it was doing, like in season 2 and season 1. Um, it's I honestly feel like that will betray the group, but that's just me because he's still connected. He is still connected to the mind flare. My daughter loves Stranger Things. She is like halfway bummed out that she's got to wait another year for it, possibly another 2 years. Um, yeah. So, anyways, yeah, that's pretty much all that I got for now, everyone. Like I said, if you guys wanted to listen to what I had to say about the original topics, you know, the Pixel 8, Gemini Nano, and Helium Mobile, um, definitely watch the replay, catch it from the beginning. You must watch Raised by Wolves sci-fi show. Ooh, I see. I've seen some stuff about it. I haven't watched it. I've seen some stuff about it, but I'm very interested in it. So don't spoil it for me. Eventually, I will watch it. There's some stuff that I do have to finish. Like I think one show that I actually enjoyed watching, that me and my wife haven't finished on was The Good Doctor. I like that show. And the other Aliens movie. I saw the trailer to that too, and I'm kind of excited for that. So Aliens, they're keeping the franchise alive. You know what they need to do before I end this live stream? I'm just going to say this: they need to bring the engineers, the Yautja, and the Xenomorphs all into one movie already. Right? If you watch the movie Prometheus, you'll learn in the fact that the engineers were responsible for the creation of the Xenomorphs. You know that the engineers' enemies is the Yautja or predators. They need to just build that. Like they keep releasing Predator movies, they keep trying to reboot the franchise, trying to get people interested in it. But I mean, like first of all, they had a key in the movie Predators, where we finally seen that there was more than one type of Yautja species, right? So we saw what they called the super predators. What's up, B-Tech? We saw that. And then what's his name? Lawrence Fishburne's character tells the group that's being hunted that there are two types of them. The big ones hunt the smaller ones and everything else, right? There's some sort of blood feud between them, right? So a lot of people got interested in that. We wanted to see what the war was between the super predators and the smaller ones, which in actuality, if you're a Predator fan like me, you would have read the comic books, you would have known that yes, there are more than the one type, and there's also some that they consider to be what's called bad bloods. Bad bloods are the ones that break the rules of engagement and honor. Yautjas will not hunt anything weak. This is why in Aliens versus Predator, when Bishop tries to attack the Yautja and he grabs him by the throat, he can see that he was having he was going to cardiac arrest. Cardiac arrest was starting to happen. So instead of killing him, he let him go. It wasn't until he took his inhaler and a flare and he struck it and lit the Yautja on fire that he turned around and engaged his wrist claws and stabbed him and killed him. Bad bloods don't care if you're weak or strong. They have an unsatiable thirst to just kill, so they will kill anything. And I think that's what the VTech just hit. He's been a member for 12 months. 12 months. No, he's elite. He's all elite now. All elote. But anyways, yeah. So those super predators in the Predators movie were considered bad bloods because they did not do it for an honorable kill. They did it just to kill. So the Predator franchise had something there. They could have created a movie based upon that. They didn't. Instead, they came out with the Predator movie, and there was one that had human DNA in it because they were whatever they were doing. Anyways, you had that big one that hunted the little one that followed it to Earth, and then they brought a weapon that was designed by the Yautja that was a suit for a human to wear that would allow a human to have a fair game chance against a Yautja in a hunt. I thought that was pretty lame, honestly. I feel like that they need, if they're gonna reboot the Predator franchise, you know what? Like they just need to start crossing all the universes. Bring the engineers from Prometheus in, so we know that that's their enemy. The engineers are the ones who created the xenomorphs. I don't know if you guys saw Prometheus, but at the end, a xenomorph was actually created. So they'll get those in. They should have rebooted the original with Dwayne Johnson. No way. I don't want to see The Rock in Predator. The Rock has his way of acting. There's certain movies that he's good in. I wouldn't want to put him in a Predator franchise because like it's just blah. I would like to see another Scooby-Doo movie that follows that. Yes. You guys kept me back in the live stream for a little bit longer. We'll stay for another 8 minutes to make it a full hour. But yes, I would love to see a Scooby-Doo movie that's based on the Hanna-Barbera formula, not the newer ones you find like on Netflix. Like my youngest daughter, she got into Scooby-Doo, but she found the Scooby-Doo series on Netflix. And so she would argue with me that it was better than what I grew up with. And until on Tubi TV, they actually have the original ones, right? So they not only have Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? They also have the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo and like all the different ones, right? Because, you know, there's different timelines of Scooby-Doo. Like there's some where it's just him, Daphne and Scrappy. There's him with the full gang. There's him and Shag and Scooby-Dum. There's the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo when they, you know, where it's like Flin Flan and Scooby and all them. So yeah, I haven't seen any new Scooby stuff. Yeah, the new stuff I'm not a big fan of. Yeah, I go with the original one. So I would love for them to make a movie based on it. I don't care if they do what Nintendo did, right? Like for years, everybody wanted a Super Mario Brothers movie. And I have to say that the animated Super Mario Brothers movie that came out last year was so much better than the one with Bob Hopkins or Bob Haskins and John Leguizamo. I'm sorry. I like those actors, but their movie was just straight garbage. Goombas being fucking 10 feet tall. Like, are you kidding me? When you play Nintendo, they're like 1'2". But that's just me. So when they decided to reboot the Super Mario Brothers movie and do an animated movie rather than a live action movie, I was like, when I saw it, I was like, great, you know, because it followed the formula in Nintendo. You got different aspects of like what you would find in the Nintendo universe. You got Mario Kart inside there. You got Smash Bros in there, right? Like when he battles Donkey Kong to try to get the Kongs to basically back the Mushroom Kingdom. That way, the way that they did the fight, that's like Smash Bros, right? So they had that aspect in there, you know. It was a great movie, and I'm hoping that because the animated movie of Super Mario Brothers did very good, I am hoping that they finally fucking give me a Legend of Zelda movie. I've been wanting one since I was a kid. I mean, the closest thing I got to anything that had to do with Legend of Zelda was the freaking episode where Link sounded like he was from California and surfed every day with his "Excuse me, princess." Like that was just, ugh. That was garbage. That was hot garbage. And Ganon stayed in pig form all the time. Like, come on. You know, so I'm hoping they finally give us a Legend of Zelda movie. I did watch The Hero of Time, which was a movie created by a small group of people that were at university, I think at CalArt. They had a project to do, so they actually made a Legend of Zelda movie. It was decent, of course, you know, very under budget. There were students, and I thought it was really cool. I think this was like back in 2007. So the movie's called Hero of Time. If you're lucky, you may find it. You may find it online if you search. But yeah, you know, it basically followed the game Ocarina of Time, and Nintendo was cool enough. Like, yes, they hit the group of people with the cease and desist. Told them that they couldn't show the movie anymore, and then Nintendo was cool about it because I guess they actually watched the movie and they thought it was pretty good. So they told the people, they're like, okay, look, you guys can keep your movie up on your website until December of 2007, and then you have to take it down. And I thought it was actually pretty cool. I really did. Saw the show. I mean, you have these little things too, right? Like like Machinima does their little clips. There was one that had to do with Dark Link, right? I thought that was pretty cool too. So I'm really hoping for a Legend of Zelda movie. Like I know that they could make it a live action movie. The only reason why I hate things going to live action is because they try to condense, consolidate, and shorten the plots of everything because they want to get in like action time and stuff like that. When literally you could create a Legend of Zelda movie and have like an actual timeline list of the movies. Like you literally could have like 6 or 7 movies, kind of like Lord of the Rings, right? You have the 3 Lord of the Rings movies, the Hobbit movie, so there's like so many spin-offs, right? Like you can have the Legend of Zelda movie. You can go through the active timelines, whether you choose the hero timeline, you choose, the Lost Child timeline. Like there's 3 different timelines in the Zelda universe that you can follow. You can make movies based on all that. It could literally be a huge franchise like Star Wars. And I'm not speaking blasphemous here. Okay. I honestly fucking believe The Legend of Zelda, if brought into a live action movie, could literally be a close big franchise to the Star Wars franchise. You see the Star Wars franchise and how many movies they have based on the Skywalker saga and how it branches off into, the Mandalorian, and it branches off into so many different things. You can do that with The Legend of Zelda. You have 3 timelines that gives you ample stories to build, ample side movies and main timeline movies. But first of all, Nintendo don't trust anybody after what they did to Super Mario Bros. So leave it to that to kind of like break Nintendo's trust with the US to make these movies. So whether they do animated or they do live action, I just really, before I die, I'm going to be 42 years old in August. Before I die in the next like 20 to 30 years, please, for the love of Jeebus, make a Legend of Zelda movie, because I'm a huge fan of The Legend of Zelda. I love the aspect of it, and especially because like in the early days of Nintendo, I wasn't too much into playing Zelda. I'll be honest, it wasn't until they made it 3D. So the N64 Ocarina of Time is what got me hooked onto Legend of Zelda, and then I played Majora's Mask, got even more hooked. Then I started playing the past libraries of it and just focused on the story more than the actual gameplay, and I really enjoyed it. And then Twilight Princess, my second favorite of all. Twilight Princess was very good. Skyward Sword was amazing. It actually gave you a backstory and how the Master Sword came to be before it was literally the Master Sword, and where a lot of the Helions come from. They actually come from the sky. They weren't brought down to Hyrule until later. And then watching my kids play, was it Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom? I watched them play it, and just the evolution of the Zelda games and everything, the stories. Especially in Twilight Princess, it pretty much broke that whole thing. So like Link has been reincarnated so many times, just as Princess Zelda has been reincarnated so many times. But anyways, I digress from that. Maybe we'll do that on Aloha Android later on this week and have like a whole movie and game discussion on there. If you guys would like that, definitely leave a comment, let me know. I'll do it on that channel. I would rather do it on that channel I don't have to worry about algorithms and stuff like that, because I just would rather freely speak on there. But maybe I'll show you guys clips of that movie that university students made for Legend of Zelda called The Hero of Time, and like some like spoof trailers they made or whatever. I'll do that on the other channel. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys right now. Thanks for hanging out. Okay, I'm really gonna go this time, and yeah, I appreciate you guys for coming through. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Take it easy and happy